You're not muted.
I know.
Are we ready to go?
No, it's having a problem connecting to YouTube.
It says recording live on YouTube.
Maybe that little hamster fell off his wheel.
You're live.
We're good to go?
Yep.
Okay. Buju Anin, Minogajeb, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the council meeting on March 17th, 2021. The month is going by very fast. Jean will be doing invocation later, he said, so we will start by calling the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kathy Travers,
Here.
David Morrison,
Here,
Peter Boney.
Here.
Okay, with that, next we have approval of the agenda.
discussion on Deer Creek and also the burnt trailer by the old sawmill.
Oh, okay. Can we put that by Rob?
Sure.
A discussion on Deer Creek. Anything else, guys? Robbie?
No, I don't have nothing.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda with those additions?
Move.
Moved by Shane. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent? Motion carried. Next, we have approval of the minutes from March 3rd, 2021 in Net Lake. Jane, I do have an update on the food shelf. And talking with Terry yesterday, she did mention that they're looking at a possible date, I believe, of April 15th. And so that's a possibility. We'll be getting some flyers out and stuff on that. They're in the process of having the floor sealed right now.
On page 3, when we approved the health account to build a reserve, I mentioned something about setting up parameters for what the reserve could be used for. I think we should probably look at setting up a meeting with Dan and crew over there and start developing those parameters.
Okay, Rob, can you put that on your list of things to do to get that meeting set up? Or those parameters?
Okay, so schedule that.
Okay,
Meeting with Dan?
yes.
Is he on vacation?
Not yet. He'll be out on the 22nd through the 24th.
Oh,
Any other questions on the minutes? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the March 3rd meeting minutes.
Move.
Moved by Chief. Is there a second? Second by Dave. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Introduction of new staff, Rob?
Right now, we don't have none, so no
Okay,
introductions.
okay. Next, we have the consent agenda. Approved awarding the bid to the low bidder for the Vermillion Motor Room to Max Gray Construction in the amount of $656,000 for the base bid and $9,100 for the add alternate bid number 1 to replace the gravel path with bituminous surfacing. Second is approved to extend the Boys Fort Energy Assistance Program round 2 until March 19, 2021. Approve the Office of Justice Programs grant request for Tribal Court Digital Court Ankle Monitor and Entry Monitor. Approve the request from Jamie Burdick to sole source an AC unit from Shannon's in the amount of $3,595 and a carpet from floor to ceiling in the amount of $4,926. Both are for the law enforcement center, for the Boys Fort Law Enforcement Center. Approve the Boys Fort COVID-19 Emergency Rental Assistance Program policy application, financial assistance form, attestation of hardship, attestation of income verification, and release of information. Approve the use of the band logo for the forms for the Boys Fort COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And then final is approve the contract with MB Customs for floor sealing at the food shelf building in the amount of $26,520. That is the consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda?
I think we should put out a list of how many people we served, as an example with the Boys for Energy Assistance Program round 2, just to list how many people we served.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Put that in. We'll put that in the paper. Boys Fort News. Because we want to make sure that the band members know exactly, what our funding is being spent on and how many are being assisted. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Okay, next we have Destiny Villabrin with the Tribal Health Insurance Sponsorship Policies and Procedures. Good morning, Destiny. Can't hear her. Destiny, we're having trouble. We're having trouble. She's on our screen, but we don't hear or see her. I don't know. We're having problems here. Oh, she says, can I call in? I'm not sure why it's not working. She can call in if she wants. We'll just wait for Destiny to call in. That Destiny? Nothing yet.
Hey, we're just sending her the number and stuff here to make sure she's got it. Yeah, we're just sending her the number here quick, like, so make sure she's got it.
Morning, Kim Greiner.
Good morning. I had to see if I was on mute or not.
Oh, you're on the beach.
Yep. While we're waiting, I'd like to talk about all the money coming in that we'll be getting.
Sure, we'll
So,
wait until we get Destiny. Go ahead.
oh, okay. Yeah, but we'll be getting several of the same pots that we got last time. So we'll be getting the direct allocation, but there'll be money for the various programs coming too. So as we do our projects, we have to strategically plan out what pot of money that would be best out of. So I think we can do a lot of stuff. But there is, but there's still the COVID, some of the COVID ties to it has to be related to COVID. With that being said, I got an email from the BIA today, and I got the number from Elena, and I'll be sending it up to you, Kathy, and you'll have to certify that enrollment number as of February 1st. And then I don't know if you received the message either, but there's a consultation session next week on how the BIA is going to allocate. I think they had 770 million. Was that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. How their method to discuss
The
their
formula.
So
Okay.
I can share that information with the council so they know. And
Okay.
if you want.
Kim, do you know when that meeting is?
Let me look in my email.
You're echoing. Nothing from Destiny yet?
No, I'm in now.
Oh, okay. Hang on, Destiny. As soon as Shane's question gets answered here, we'll move on to Destiny.
Afternoon of March 25th for Central Time Zone tribes.
Okay. And just a FYI, some of the pots of money we have until 2024 to spend. So it does allow some time. We're not rushed to get it done within a year. Some depends on the program. So we'll get that out to the people. So, okay, Destiny,
Morning, guys.
good morning.
So I am just bringing in a few updates. I updated the tribal sponsorship program, and then I updated the application and just some of the paperwork that was a little outdated.
Okay.
The main change that was made was we took out the income guidelines.
Okay.
So previously we were using, your income had to be between a certain level of the federal poverty percentage. So it was 138 to 250%. We took that out just because we honestly weren't using it. We really weren't using it that well to get the people that we needed.
Okay.
So that was the main change. And then we did end up updating some of the forms on the back of the pages. Some of the appendix A was taken out and replaced. And then we just updated it with the current years.
Basically just cleaning up the documents instead of like, because before some of this stuff was called contract health. Now it's called purchase
Yep.
referred care. So it's just basically cleaning up the documents, I see. Putting that
Yep.
terminology in. Good. A way to be on top of it because, you know, these policies and procedures that we get in place, you know, like, for example, this is a good example is, you know, they changed the name of the program and sometimes we don't even look at, or sometimes we forget about reviewing and updating our policies. So I just want to say good job
Yep.
on.
Thank you.
Any questions for Destiny?
Yes, question on the,
Priority 1 message from Star.
it's a question on the second to the last page of her presentation. It's the application, the tribal sponsorship application.
Okay.
It's just applicant name, date of birth. Question number 1, does the patient live in PRCDA area?
Oh,
Where-
okay, yep.
What is the PRCDA area?
So that's our PERTA area. So that's the boundaries basically that we use for the PRC program. I believe it is, so the exact mac's a little weird. I believe it says it's 80 miles from the boundaries of the reservation, both Vermilion and Nett Lake. That's what we use to certify people in PRC as well.
Okay, I don't know if it could be spelled out now somewhere, so band members, when they apply, they don't call you, they just see that where the area is. Oh yeah, I live in it, and they can just fill it out. Kind of make it more simple for them.
Yeah, we've been trying to work on a map, but the only issue is that the PERTA area, because it does go, we have the bands that are close to us. It's a little difficult to get an exact map of whether we can see whether they're in it or not. For the most part, if they apply or if they qualify for PRC, they would qualify for tribal sponsorship.
Okay, all right.
Area-wise, I should say.
That's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on Destiny's presentation of the tribal health insurance sponsorship policies and procedures? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve her updated policies and procedures.
Move.
Moved by Chief, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Shane, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Good job, Destiny, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, next we have David Morrison Jr. with a respite grant. Morning, David.
Good morning. Doing good. Thank you for asking. So what I have is a continuation for the Respite grant. It's coming from the Minnesota Department of Human Services. It's from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. The total amount we got was $27,672.00. So what we do is we provide a non-traditional service for respite care. So what we got was, well, it breaks down is $14,482 goes for salaries, and that's for myself and the manager, which is Kristen Strong. So that boils down, Kristen gets $8,183.11 for 15%, and I get $6,298.66 for 15%. That's about $14,481. So fringe and benefits is $7,191. And some of our non-traditional services that we provide is, we do day camps. We go up to the Boys and Girls Clubs and do activities with them, community activities, sports. We'll be doing another ricing project, canoeing, hunting, netting, and snaring, drum teachings, fitness activities, traditional lacrosse. So with this grant, we're able to put some money into our band members' pockets. So for our gathering traditional foods, so like for netting, gathering wild rice and learning how to skin and gut deer and snaring rabbits, we're able to have $1,500 for instructor fees. We plan to have 6 big cultural events, which is, like I said, the netting, the ricing, and learning how to skin deer and snare. We'll be doing that for Net Lake and Vermilion. We will have food for the event, so we set aside $500 for that. So for the program supplies, we will be spending $982.78. And then we did set aside some mileage to go after program supplies and whatnot. And yeah, like I said, the indirect cost for this one is 10%, which is what they have set, but these we'll hear more on that later. So like the indirect cost for 10% is $2,516. And we're just asking for a request of approval to continue with this. I know indirect costs, I know where that money goes. So if there's anytime you guys want to come be actively involved, I know you guys have a lot of knowledge. I know I've talked with Chief is going to come help me do a netting clinic, because I know 1854 does netting clinics for our band members, K-Youth, but I think it's just one day. So I'd like to have more days set up to where we could teach the kids, how to net, how to fillet, teaching the kids how to rice, how to be in canoes. And this year too, we will open up the canoeing for adults as well, because I think it's important for people that don't know how to be in a canoe able to learn that, so they could go out and get some wild rice. It is, I eat that stuff quite often. All you do is a little bit of hard work to go get it. So we'll be doing the ricing project again. Like I said, anytime you guys want to see my emails go out, and if you guys want to come and check it out, you are more than welcome. And if you guys want to lend a helping hand and offer some of your expert advice, because I know you processed wild rice too, Kathy. So I know you used to have your parching project that you would do. So I think like Trav, I know he knows how to gut and skin. So if you ever want to come help out with that, you're more than welcome. So it's just the really good stuff. We're trying to keep these teachings going with our youth. So like I said, I think it's important to see you guys in higher positions. If you guys made your presence, they'd be like, hey, that's cool to see these guys out there. So the invite is out there. If you guys ever want to come and get your hands dirty, you're more than welcome to come help out.
I think that's a good idea, Squid. Your projects are really awesome because they're getting back to the way we used to do things, and we see a lot of our youth not doing a lot of the hunting and I mean, I remember my dad showing me how to fillet fish, but I haven't done it for so long that I don't remember it. Those types of things. And I think what might be really good too is just as a added suggestion, see if any of the send flyers out, and we can do it door to door because we do our COVID stuff, to see if any of the elders might want to come and watch the kids, and do that. I mean, I'm an elder, but I would love to learn how to fillet a fish again, because I take my grandson fishing and he always wants to keep every fish he catches, which sometimes that's not possible, but I'd like to teach him too. So some of us older people might want to learn some of that expertise that we're getting. And like a lot of our kids hunt and get deer. And I remember watching Joey skin a deer, and then I've actually skinned a deer myself once, but I didn't know if I was doing it right, and how to cut it up, that kind of stuff. Getting back to the way it was. I just think this is a great idea, Squid. You're doing a wonderful job with that, and I think it's a good way for community to get involved too. I know with the pandemic we have issues, but we'll
Right.
figure that out.
And like the ricing project, to me, that was a pretty big deal. I know we were able to have some youth go out and get some wild rice, and
Yeah.
we were able to parch it up, and we did in turn donate that to the elders meal program. So we were able to also have 5th and 6th grade come and view and help out for a little while. So I think it's important just keeping that I know I was talking with KBFT, and we would like to collaborate to have a bigger thing for our youth, is to keep this going. I think it's important to instill this in our youth. So
Good project. Any questions for David on his grant from the Minnesota Department of Human Services in the amount of $27,672? I like the food aspect too, because food brings people too.
Right.
If you want,
The,
go ahead, Shane.
the application just needs some signatures. Other than that, it looks good.
Yep, I did. I do have the updated list for signatures. So I think when it's sent, it was just maybe 1 or 2 signatures on there, but it is updated and it is all signed by the appropriate people. So.
Okay, do we have a motion then to approve David's respite grant from DHS in the amount of $27,672 for those events, cultural events?
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Pete. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, silent, motion carried.
Good job.
David.
Good.
Look forward
Yeah.
to it. Let us know.
You need to add something in there about Shavers, Kathy teaching casino moves.
No. Goodness sakes.
Hey, good job, Coach.
But thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Keep up the good work. Okay, next we have Doris Isham on the agenda with 2 items: Indian Child Welfare Tribal Primary Grant Application and a CTAS grant application. Good morning, Doris. Happy belated birthday.
Good morning, and thank you. I have 2 items on the agenda. The first one, Angela Giesek should be on the air with me. The application is a continuation grant to the Minnesota Department of Health for Indian Child Welfare supplements. The amount of the dollar amount of the grant application is $209,416, and it's for a period of 4 years. So it averages out to be about $52,354 a year. And what this does is pay partial salary for 3 staff in the Indian Child Welfare Department, for to provide social service activities for American Indian families that promote placement prevention and reunification of American Indian children. So it's just a approval for the continuation of the grant and to submit the application.
I see it runs from this July till June 30th, 2025. So
Yes.
way ahead of the ball game here. Great job. Any questions on Doris's tribal primary grant application? Can say that. If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the submission by Shane. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by David. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Good job on that one. Okay,
Thank you. The second discussion is involves the CTASK application. And we should have on the air Miranda, Tara, Travis, and Kim to answer any questions that any of the tribal council might have in regard to specific programs. But basically, the CTASK grant combines many of the Department of Justice existing tribal government specific competition solicitations, having trouble talking this morning, into a single solicitation requiring only one application from each tribe. It gives us the opportunity to develop a comprehensive approach to public safety and victimization issues. CTAS is not a program, but a single solicitation under which tribes can apply to 7 separate grant programs from 4 grant-making offices. And those are the Office of Community Orientated Police Services, or the COPS office, Office of Justice Programs, the Office of Juvenile Justice, and the Bureau of Office Assistance. So there was this grant application went out to the directors. I believe Miranda brought it to the senior management team and invited people that are interested in applying for the grant. And so then we developed a team under the Microsoft Teams application, and that's how we've been meeting on a weekly basis. So the management members that chose to participate is Miranda through for Judicial Services, Tara through Department of Natural Resources, Travis through the youth programs, and Kim Greiner is involved as an advisor to us. The grant application includes 7 different purpose areas. They call them PA1, PA2, etc. And so PA1 involves the COPS program, and the Department of Natural Services through TARA is interested in applying for equipment and vehicles under that priority area. The Judicial Services is applying for funding under PA2 for a comprehensive strategic plan to enhance the tribal court services and will involve all aspects of tribal court and reservation programs. And PA9 is tribal youth programs. Travis Vaki is applying for funding to develop and expand youth programs that aid in the prevention of youth involved in delinquency actions. And I need to note that the resolution was developed by Jeff Holt, our tribal attorney. And since the development of this program, we removed PA number 6 under the Children's Act partnerships. We originally were gonna write for a case manager investigator. However, we changed our mind on that based on the low numbers and having more difficult time justifying an investigator on Boys Fort. So that's all let's see. I need to add that the grant is due on March 30th, and the dollar amount that we're applying for is $1,150,000. And I need to add that it's a very competitive grant. Boys Fort has applied for these grants in the past. And I think we've gotten funded through them on one time, and I believe it was 2018, I'm not sure. So that's all I have for you. I have a resolution that I can present after the managers discuss their priority areas. So Miranda, do you want to go first? Or no, Destin or Tara, I guess, under PA1. Are you there, Tara?
I am.
Okay.
Okay, purpose area 1. I'm going for 2 trucks and a variety of equipment to include ATV or UTV side-by-sides, primary issued handguns and shotguns, chainsaws, heat-seeking goggles and binoculars, some heavy-duty GPS equipment, and I was going to go for an infrared night vision zone or drone, sorry, but that's not allowable under the grant. So mine would add up to, shoot, where's that number here? Roughly $190,990, something around that area. And I have to, which I am, tying my equipment and vehicles to human trafficking and MMIW. So I'm tying that in a way of the Boys Fort Police Department takes care of the main sectors, the most populated areas of Boys Fort, Net Lake and Vermilion in town. But we would be taking care of, you know, the outskirts and the hunting areas and the more obscured areas in wildland, you know, just in case, you never know that human trafficking or missing and murdered and missing Indigenous women could be hidden out there, or God forbid, you know, buried there. I hate to be so morbid, but that's the way I had to think about this grant, is to, you know, how are we going to help the Net Lake Police Department in identifying and tracking these things? So in order for our conservation officers to get in deeper into the woods, we would need more heavy duty trucks and equipment. So that's how I'm tying that in. And I'm doing a lot of research and referencing the report that MMIW has put forth. It's on the internet. And working with Panda, I've already been contacting her. So that's all I have, if you have any questions.
Sarah, this is Kathy. I really think that's a very creative and very excellent idea to incorporate the human trafficking in MMIW. We always think about the populated areas, but we don't think about the forested areas. I mean, you know, so I really think that's an excellent idea.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Tara or comments? Okay.
Sarah,
Oh, Dave.
you said, were you able to get drones out of this then? Is that what you said, or you can?
No, I was going to apply for drones, but that's not covered under this grant. That's not allowable.
Oh, okay.
So no drones on this one.
You think that would would be they would include that because you can cover more ground with a drone than people walking around in the woods looking for somebody, or if they're lost or whatever. That would,
Right. Yeah, but it's clearly stated in there, no drones.
that's too bad. So
Yeah.
I'll look
good.
somewhere else for that.
Good job, Tara. I guess Miranda? Good morning.
Morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Travis wearing that green there.
So I'm going to be writing for Purpose Area 2, and that is a 36-month award, and it is specifically for Comprehensive Tribal Justice System Strategic Planning Grant. So I don't have the amount yet. I'm still working on the budget. I'm still working on ideas. I just have tons of ideas, which I'm hoping if we are successful with the grant, we'll have a plan. I participated in the tribal court collaborative meeting yesterday with the other ladies within various reservations throughout Minnesota. And one of the ladies had, when we were talking about grants, had said, if you don't have a strategic plan, it's chaos. And I will agree with her because I'm seeing that right now within our tribal court and our tribal justice system. And so I'm hoping best case scenario is we get the grant and we're able to do some strategic planning. Worst case scenario is we don't get the grant, but we get really good feedback on how to write a better grant application next year. But Purpose Area 2 has 3 phases to it. And it would identify, the gaps and weaknesses within our tribal justice system, which right now isn't identified, but this process would help us identify it. It would help us identify the team, the stakeholders. It would be doing, a community assessment with with the tribal justice system. And one of the things that it will do is it will bring in some approved training and technical assistance providers. They have those companies and consultants already identified, so they would come in and they would be able to help us. It's a 4 phase project. There's 3 identified phases, and phase 1 would be, working together, and that's where we would identify everybody involved with the strategic planning process and within the grant. Phase 2 is identifying strengths and weaknesses in our current system. Phase 3 is goals and action steps. And so we would have a plan, a roadmap of where we want to go and what we want to do. And then the 4th area is ongoing support. And so once we have that strategic plan and our goals and action and, this roadmap of where we want to go, they would help us to get to where we identified that we want to be. Like I said, right now, I don't have the full amount that we're going to be asking for as part of the total grant package. Working on that. There's, like I said, some different ideas. We want to start with a wellness court. We want to really identify who our team is going to be. So the different departments and programs, would be identified, and each of them would have goals and action plans and things like that within a strategic plan. And so I really, hope that we're able to get it. But at the very least, identify where we want to go, because right now, like I said, the lady said, if you don't have it, it's chaos. And that's kind of it right now.
Well, it sounds like a really good first step to do, because I think, being new to the position and, we all know about the tribal courts, not just here, but all over the country. Basically, they struggle. and they struggle because possibly they don't have that strategic plan. They don't know their strengths and weaknesses. They have difficulty in trying to get maybe some training and technical assistance, or don't know what those needs are. This sets out, I think, a great direction for the tribal court and services to the staff for training and technical assistance, plus yourself, and also for the community. Because I just see it as a big improvement. So I really think that's an excellent, excellent idea too. You guys really did a great job with your what you're going to go for with this grant, because there's such a need, and you know, you need that structure, that strategic plan to go in the direction you want to go in. So I just think that's excellent, excellent job.
The one thing that I forgot to add was that we did develop a job description. And so hopefully we would be hiring, we've called it the Tribal Justice Grant Coordinator. Okay. So that person would be primarily identifying, you know, focus groups, meetings, scheduling meetings, you know, and hopefully have that throughout the state of Minnesota to meet with, you know, even our off reservation band members, because, you know, they would have, we would want their input into where we go. And so I did forget to mention that, but hopefully we would get one more person.
Great idea. Good. Wonderful. I'm very excited. I hope this grant gets funded. Yay. Any questions for Miranda or comments on the PA2 Comprehensive Strategic Plan? Nope. Okay. Good job, Miranda. Keep up the good work. We lost our green guy, the other green guy that's on here.
Travis.
Oh God, there he is. Look at that. We have a leprechaun.
There you go, Dave. Just for you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Good morning, Travis.
Right. Good morning. So I was a little late to jump on board with this. I was doing a little bit of research, and PA9 is tribal youth programs. And so one of the goals for me at the Boys and Girls Club is to get more teens involved in the Boys and Girls Clubs. And so what I'm proposing in my portion of the grant is to hire a teen recruiter and program manager at the Boys and Girls Club. And so basically they would be out there recruiting teens to be part of the club, setting up a curriculum that is involved in preventing them and helping them stay out of the juvenile court system, as well as you know, doing fun things. And the Boys and Girls Club has a lot of preventative curriculums, and so I think it's a good fit. You know, like Miranda said, even if I'm not able to get this one, I'm looking for some feedback on how to move forward with something like that. But if we're lucky enough to get the grant, it's I can apply for $100,000 for 5 years. So you know, it could be up to $500,000 if all goes well.
I think just a note that we're dealing with the adults in the prison system, and I think that by working with prevention with our youth will help curtail that, because Minnesota leads in the number of Native American men and women in the prison system in Minnesota. And that's a sad statistic. I hate to say that our statistics, basically a majority of them are in the negative way. So I think any type of prevention program or working with these teens, or we know that if teens have time on their hands, they're probably doing something they shouldn't be doing, incorporating the Boys and Girls Clubs and looking at that aspect for prevention. It's always been said, coming from the health office area, that it's if you don't do prevention, it's more costly in the long run. And we find that quite common within other areas too. So I think it's an excellent idea. We need to get our teens. It's an area that we're kind of really lacking in is in our teens and our youth, and doing more prevention projects and getting programs and services out there for them. We're improving. But as always, we can always do more. But I think that's an excellent idea. Kids need to be busy. In order to be busy, that's what the Boys and Girls Clubs are for. And that'd be great. Wonderful. Good job, Trav. Excellent idea. Doris, I have a question. With the CTAS grant, it's either funded because it's different components of the the different PA 129. It's either the whole thing's funded or not, correct? Or do they take sections?
No, they can choose to fund one or the other or all.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all looked at separately, but it's one grant.
One grant. Okay, good. That's good to know. Wonderful. I wish you luck on your projects, guys. I think they're all great projects and I hope they're funded. I really
Kim,
do.
did you have anything to add?
Oh, there she is.
It's a very difficult grant. Many years ago, you may remember, like we used to get the Cops Fast grant. We had hired some cops at times. One big thing why I kind of helped them along was because like you can't use, the grant has to supplement your services. It can't replace what you have. So we couldn't apply to grant to pay for current officers or something like that. So I was trying to help them with some of those issues like that. We used to get the Cops Fast, but we have gotten the CTAS grant for sure that I can remember twice. Once was the police department remodel when we added the garage and stuff like that. That was one of them. And the second one was the tribal grant, the tribal court grant that just ended September 30th that we had for 3 years to, and I think that was under PSA, the area 3. And so that one just wrapped up. So they are very helpful. They're very difficult to write for because it all has to flow together. So they've been working very hard. The narratives have to flow together and they have to have their individual budgets, and then the individual budgets have to roll up into an overall budget. So there's a lot of stuff like that. So I was just there to kind of tell them the things I knew from over the years of that I had learned. So, but they all did very good and they've all been working very hard on it.
Good team approach. Very good. Any questions for Kim, Doris, Miranda, Tara, or Travis on the grant? If not, can I call for a motion to approve the CTAS grant application?
Kathy, with the exception of
with the taking out that exception of that
under the fourth whereas, and
Okay.
removing PA 6 under the fourth whereas.
Okay. Removing PA 6 under the fourth whereas. Got it. Okay. That was moved by Chief. Is there a second? Thanks, Doris. David, did you second?
Yeah, second.
Okay. I heard a little blurb. Seconded by David. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, silent, motion carried. I think this is a wonderful grant. Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody.
Good job.
Okay, next we have the Leprechaun, Mr. Travis Vaki, for the contract with Max Gray Construction for the Vermilion Head Start Large Muscle Addition.
All right. As you know, we went through the bidding process, and as part of your consent agenda, the low bid and lone bidder was Max Gray Construction. And so this contract is the final step that we need to sign off on in order for us to begin to meet with Max Gray and for them to develop their plan to start the project, which I believe their plan is to start May 17th, pending that the road restrictions are lifted at that time. And so I think that you guys all got a copy of the contract. Kathy would be signing page 7 of the contract. I believe it is Article 9.
Who's singing?
Somebody. So you should be signing Article 9, which basically shows all of what the agreement is compromised of. So it's the standard form of agreement, the general conditions that were modified by Jeff, our attorney, supplementary general conditions, and then the 3 addendums that we added as well. Jeff and Stu have reviewed this. They've given their blessing to have it signed. The Max Gray contractor did sign off on the addendums and the modifications. And I'll be frank with you. This is my first project as far as construction goes. And I wanted to make sure that it was spelled out so clearly in this contract what our TARO requirements are here, that there's no way that they can say we didn't have whatever.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted it basically bolded in 72 print, because that's a big deal. And so that's going to be my push, of course, when we end up meeting with Max Gray, is to make sure that that is followed. It is an on-reservation project, so 51% is what they should be focused on getting. And I also have the TARO list, so if they are having trouble, finding a worker in a certain area, I have the list of people on our TARO list who are in certain, their Jesus in certain areas. I'm hopeful that it goes well. I'm excited for Christina Vonda and their programs. This is going to be to that Vermilion location. So all we need is a signature today, and then we can move forward.
Okay. Any questions for Travis?
Yes, what happens if they don't follow the TARO policy, the TARO policy, the rules? What do we do then?
So, I wish I should have invited Jeff to be on here because he's the expert on the TARO stuff. But basically what's going to happen is Don and I are going to meet with Max Gray before the construction begins, so we know their plan. And they, they have to try and prove that they tried to meet the 51% native worker. And they have to show evidence that they did that. A lot of times, like when Jeff and I talked, he said, a lot of times contractors say, we tried, we advertised, we had no luck, but I'm going to have that TARO list with me. And if there's an area where they're struggling on finding an employee, I'm going to be able to have that list and say, well, here's A, B, C, and D who can help in this area, So I really don't want to give them any chance to not meet that 51%. I can't promise you that they're going to get there. There is, if they truly prove that they can't find anybody, then they have a right to hire a non-native at that point. But my goal is to make sure that doesn't happen.
And if they refuse to follow that, Don and the TARO program can sanction them. And I've seen her do it before on other contractors. And they try to flex their muscle and say, we can do this, we can do that. This is our company. But when Don flexed her muscle and pushed that TARO sanction on them, they found people in a hurry.
And they were, you know, and I will say that, you know, from the start, they were very motivated to get this project. They were there at the first meeting, every meeting since that point. They were in constant communication with Carl from ARI. So I'm really hopeful that, you know, that they understand our guidelines.
Yeah. And Don has done a lot of work in the past to get this, the Terrell program, where it is, and all contractors locally know how the Terrell works, and they all abide by it. You know, she had to do that. I think it was just a one time where they sanctioned that larger company at $5,000 a day. You know, they didn't.
And where it hurts in the
Yeah, yeah. So they do listen. They do want to abide by it.
Yeah, and I'm, you know, being this is my first go around, you know, Joel and Randy have both said that they'll, you know, be alongside helping me through it. Robbie, same, you know, and Don will be with me at all our meetings too. So
David, do you know when they have the construction meetings? If you could just let us know, I'd like to attend some of them.
yeah, it's they are required to have a weekly meeting with us. So once we meet with them initially, we'll pick the date and time that we want to do that. A lot of times it's like a Monday morning or a Thursday morning, or whatever works best for the contractor. But yes, I will absolutely let you all know.
And my last question is, do they have an idea when they're going to be done?
So in the contract, their projected start date is May 17th, and their projected completion is no later than 170 calendar days from that day. So like 6 months, approximately. And so there might be, you know, they are aware, and Christine and Vonda are also aware that there is, there's probably going to be construction going on while kids are there. And the contractor does know that they have to keep that area clean, so, and safe for the kids. So, and the last thing I'll mention is that additional 9,100, that's to create a pavement walkway around the building instead of a gravel walkway.
I know that this has been a long time coming for a Head Start, because I remember when I first got on,
Yeah.
I was talking with Christine, the Head Start director, about this, and she just kept me in tune with it and what the process was, and it's just been a long time coming. Glad to finally see that it's going to be built.
Yes, me too. And we finally have our funding in order, so that's helpful. We got those. It's a CCDF. Partially, so that's federal dollars, so they're here and reporting based on that as well. So,
Any other questions, Shane?
Nope.
Okay, good. Do we have a motion to approve the contract with Max Gray Construction for the Vermilion Head Start Large Muscle Edition?
Move.
Moved by Shane. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trav. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent? Motion carried. Good job, Trav. Good luck.
thanks, gang.
Yep.
Thank you, Leprechaun.
Okay, next we have Shane with a discussion on Deer Creek.
Are we looking at plans to start to basically create lots over there for people to start moving in, to build on it?
No,
No?
not at this time, because there's some issues with Deer Creek. And I believe it was our leasing program that said it's Right now there, I don't feel there, we can do that. Rob, did you guys go over to Deer Creek?
Yeah, we went over to Deer Creek, and it just the land is really, I mean, it's great for hunting and stuff, but it'd take a lot to develop and stuff. And then we'd also have to look at like providing our services over that way. And it's just it's just a lot to get done right now anyway. And then I know there's more stuff that we were discussing before about, I don't know, Kathy, if you can kind of touch on that.
Yeah,
Like,
we have someone looking into the Deer Creek historical data right now. So it's something that we can't comment on at the moment, but we're going to be setting up a meeting on that with that individual. We'll keep you posted. As soon as we know, we'll let you know, but we don't know the outcome of that historical data yet.
Hey, Rob, how about that little tract of land that you guys looked at? Is it very big, or is it?
No, it's not. It's I want to say there's a little 4-wheel trailer in there, trail going in there. There's some wet spare areas in there. We walked all the way pretty much towards the back, and there's a little creek and stuff almost you got to cross. So it's a lot of work to do to get something built in there.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Travis.
I was just wondering if we'd be able to identify that if somebody wanted to hunt it from the reservation without, identify the area so we don't go out onto private land.
We could probably have forestry had it GIS already, so they had points already on it. We could probably have it flagged off. That'd be I don't think a problem. So
be nice to put a reservation sign there.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I think that we need to revisit our land use plan. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure Deer Creek's in there, but that's where it's designated as, commercial property, residential property, that type of stuff. So maybe we need to review that or revisit the land use plan. I don't think we've done that since Chief and Shane have come on. So I think that's something we should look at.
I thought you were gonna say Chief and Guy bought us.
Oh, that too, but anyway, but let's put that on our radar, Rob. I think you have it already on there as the land use plan.
Tara has a question.
Who?
Tara.
Okay, Tara.
Not a question, just a comment about the notes that I sent you for the site visit notes.
Oh,
remember
yeah.
Back in October on the 21st, just that it's 120 acres on Deer Creek. So it's a very small strip of land. And then it's mostly wetland. And we'd need a wetland delineation for that to do any kind of
anything
inhabited. Yeah.
Yep. Got it. Okay, good. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Anything else, Shane, on Deer Creek?
Nope.
Okay. Next, you said the burnt trailer at the sawmill.
Yes. Apparently the guy who owned it, he's deployed overseas, and I was just given a screenshot of what he posted on. He was asking for information if anybody's seen anything or know of anything that who burnt it. And then the next question becomes cleaning up, removing it. Are they going to do it, or do we do it?
First off, the trailer that Shane is talking about was a trailer that used to belong to a band member that was being used as a kind of like a work trailer out at the PD court project. And then they moved it over to where the old rice plant used to be out by the old sawmill site. And apparently this individual that's deployed overseas, a non-band member, purchased the trailer and was going to, I think family members were going to move it for him, if I'm not mistaken. But before they could move it, someone set it on fire. So we are looking for anybody or any individuals that may have possibly seen anyone around the area or know of anybody that might be saying something in the community that, you know, hey, I burnt that trailer. You know, sometimes those things get around within the community. The other thing is if there's a bill of sale, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kim and Rob, but if there's a bill of sale, I would think that the owner of the property is responsible for the cleanup, or the owner of the trailer, that property. I mean, not our land, but the property itself.
Right. I think you'd have to prove. I think you'd have to prove that bill of sale first to
Yep.
make sure it's transferred, and then after that, it is on the owner to clean up the mess, basically, or the residue or whatever it's called. So,
But there'd have to be a bill of sale.
yep, it's a first step.
Yeah, I know that when Chester's house burned down, I asked Joel if how we were going to get rid of all that junk that burnt up, and he said that's the homeowner's responsibility. Because I thought maybe Public Works could do it, but he said no, the homeowner is responsible for that. So.
That answer your questions,
So we can-
Shane?
Yep.
Rob,
we
I'm
can-
sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say we can try track down a bill of sale if we can, and then let them know, because there's some huge scrap iron under there but right now scrap iron price is not very high anyway. But we'd have to cut it up. There's a lot of cleanup that would have to go there.
Okay. If no other business, I guess we have a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Made by Chief. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, silent, motion carried. I just want to say that, you know, everybody, please keep wearing masks and social distancing and using hand sanitizer. For those that live in our area, there is a spike in the younger kids that are coming up. We've got some, I believe I heard there were 14 cases in Ely. So please remember to, just because the vaccine is out and things are reopening, we still need to be diligent about doing those safety protocols to not spread the virus. And so please remember to wear your mask, social distance, don't be in large gatherings, and use hand sanitizers or wash your hands. So please be safe. With that, I'll say there is no goodbye in our language, so I'm going to say Gigawabaman.
Gigawabaman.
Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Later.
Thanks for attending.